Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're viewing. If you are in Central Standard Time, like our guest today, you may be still in the morning time. But if you are in Georgia, or if you're on the East Coast like me, your host, Angel Charmaine, then it's afternoon. Welcome to Speak Up Sis. We are having 31 days of everyday women who refuse to be silent. And so far, it has been phenomenal. I have enjoyed listening to all of the different women share. I have been inspired by what has been shared. I have been empowered to stand up and open up my mouth and continue to speak truth. And I know that today's woman is going to give me even more to inspire me and to keep me standing up in the truth. So I'm looking forward to sharing with her in just a second. But before we do that, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Nappy Pat. Nappy Pat, also known as Patricia Flanoy, is a trendsetter in the hair industry. Patricia is a master cosmetologist and educator for over 20 years. She's a hairstylist and a hair loss specialist. Patricia offers a number of services that include color services, natural hair, relaxed hair, locks, and so much more. Call today to book an appointment at 706-731-0041. If you are in Augusta or the CSRA region, or if you just want to fly in and have her hook you up, she's located in the beautiful downtown area of Augusta, Georgia at 301 8th Street, Augusta, Georgia, 30901. Thank you so much, Nappy Pat, for sponsoring today. And not only today, she sponsored 5 days of the series. So we thank you so much for believing in the vision and helping to amplify women's voices, especially during this Women's History Month. All right, so let's get it, everybody. So right now, I want to introduce to you all Miss Rojonah Harris. Hi!
Hi, thank you for having me.
It is all good. Thank you so much for saying yes to being in this space, because I know that what you have to share is a difficult topic to discuss.
Yes, that is true. I was a victim of domestic violence. For me, it was one of those journeys where I was looking for love, looking for something that wasn't there. And I think the thing is, when you go looking for it, you really find what you're looking for, whether it's good or bad. For me, I thought I met the love of my life, the most romantic, loving person in the world, someone that I thought that was the most compatible person that I could be with. And he really swept me off my feet. We shared a lot together. He was a family man. He didn't mind being there for me as a woman. And I think that right there really captivated me as a person, because I really wasn't used to it. So I didn't see him as being a person that was a domesticated type of man. Like I didn't see him being somebody that was an abuser. It didn't get really bad until one day they had a party over at my house. And when we had the party, the next day I woke up and I walked in the hallway and I looked on the floor and there was a baggie. And the baggie that was on the floor was cocaine. And my heart dropped, because I thought maybe if one of my kids grabbed that baggie, then for me growing up, we used it as Kool-Aid. You could take the Kool-Aid and put it inside the little baggie with the sugar and stuff and mix it up. So I was feeling kind of guilty, because it's like, what if my child picked it up, and then you'd have somebody in prison for child abuse or even a death of a child, So when I brought it to his attention, he was like, oh, that's for my brother. It was no get up and go about it. No, I was just kind of perplexed. I'm looking like, are you serious? I mean, there's no other reaction to this. So things started getting from bad to worse. Not only was the baggie situation, but he started having his child's mother come knock at the door and asking for money and sexual favors that unbeknownst to me, because me, I'm so nice and loving, to where I didn't pick up on signs of different things like that. You know, it didn't really bother me because I'm there for the child. I don't know what's going on between them. After that, our utilities got shut off and we needed them back on. And I went to him to see if he can help me out, you know, being that he lived with me, to put the lights on in his name, to find out that he had them on at her place. So that's why she was coming by to ask him for help. Things just got so crazy. He jumped up one day, and I think this was something from the cocaine. And while I was pregnant with my daughter, he started punching me viciously in my stomach. I didn't know what that was about. Yet I took him back, and I saved favor and grace over that. After that, we moved into our first home, and things were fine until I looked inside his phone and I saw him conversing with another young lady, asking to see her private parts. That right there hurt me so bad, but what could I do? You know, I was in love with this person. We started arguing, and I got a black eye. You know, he hit me in my eye, and black eye and a fractured nose. Called the police, yet I still stayed and took him back. For whatever reason, I don't know, because he didn't have anything that was included in our relationship that did a benefit to me. It's just that I was looking for something that really wasn't there. And the fact that I had someone that loved me in return is what I was so captivated with. And, you know, that hurts me, because not only was it that, but all the arguments that we would have, he would tear me all the way down. Like, for me, in my family, on both sides of the family, we have a tendency of growing hair on our chin, and he used that back against me, calling me a hairy face B word, and, you know, calling me all out of my name to make me feel less than what I was worth. My breaking straw was when my grandmother passed away in 2012, and I was getting ready to have a party, because everyone insisted that if I had this party, it would be okay, because my grandmother would want me to move on. Well, my phone fell, and when my phone fell, it cracked. So I couldn't get access to anyone. So he walked up to me, and for whatever reason, our energy just changed. We just started yelling and arguing. I kind of pushed him back, just as a, like, you know, you're in my space. He pushed me, and I kind of, you know, moved him a little bit more. And again, he hit me in my eye, and I had another black eye. At that point, I said I wasn't going to call the police. I wasn't going to keep putting law enforcement in my situation, in my pathway, because already I had called numerous times. And the situation was, I was going back. It was so bad to where one of the officers, he really hated women and despised them. He talked about how much women continue to call, yet they still remain in the same spot with this person. So I had to think of a plan. My plan was a different one, because going to that funeral for my grandmother and having that black eye, and I couldn't raise my glasses down, nor could I be seen and seated around my family because I was hiding something. I had to do something. I couldn't continue to put up with somebody who wasn't, again, producing anything for me or my family. So I was at my office working one day, and a young man came in, and we started conversing. And I start feeling attention and love from somebody else. Oddly enough, it's sad to say that I had to get out of that by seeking love from somebody else, but that was my only outlet. It's bad because a lot of women can't get out of their situation, nor do they know how to get out of it. And it's really rough. I went through that for a period of 5 years, but it was either make it or break it. And it's not something that was very easy. I had to hold my head up. And you know how they say you put that S on your chest? I really had to put the S on my chest, because I didn't see another way that I can get out of that situation. But I had to stand up for myself, and I had to look in the mirror and say, you know what, Ro, you are special. You are unique. You don't have to deal with this. You don't have to put up with somebody who, for one, displays no affection when it comes to you as a woman, has such disrespect for you, and really doesn't give two flying cares about you at all. So that's the way I got out of my situation. It got so bad and so dangerous to where he was threatening, you know, when I was out of it, everything just kind of sunk in. I had to lie to the police and say that he didn't live with me so they could make him get his stuff out my house to not be a resident. He cried. I mean, I never seen him cry before. He cried and cried and cried, but for me as a woman, it was only so much that I can put up with. And at that point, I had no regret. It got so dangerous to the point where I got a charge on me from him throwing bleach in his eyes. Like, it's funny now, but at the time it wasn't, because that's the only defense mechanism I had to protect myself. I couldn't fight him. He was a man. He was stronger than me. All these tantrums and things that he put on, and, all that really wasn't working for me. So I was afraid, but I thank God that, yeah, it was bleach and it wasn't a knife or a gun or a life sentence in prison. I had a lot to sit back and evaluate, and self-worth guided me out of that. It really did. And I'm glad I was able to take a hold to the situation. I'd like to elaborate to say that I know for some women, for my situation, finding and loving somebody else is a difficult thing to do, but that was my only outlet. I didn't have another way. Otherwise, I'd still be in that same situation today. What I want to tell you, sis, hang in, pick up the pieces, look in that mirror, identify your worth, because at the end of the day, that's all you have. It's only so much that you can pick up the pieces with. Pressure will indeed burst the pipe, but are you willing to get out of that situation and set focus? Or are you willing to be a beautiful woman laid out in a coffin because you didn't do something to try to attack the situation by moving forward? But I thank you so much for letting me share my view and my story of what happened to me.
Girl, you got me choked up over here. So much. So everybody, Rojonah and I chit-chat a little bit prior to her sharing. And I was just like, right now, my soul just, I don't think I have the proper words right now to even use to describe how I feel about what she shared. Go ahead.
Also, the story is a bit condensed version of what I can put together to compile, to share, but it really took a lot. Me just saying a little bit, just a little taste of what I had to go through, but it took a lot, but I did stand up, and I did rest on my chest.
What I want to say to those of you who are listening, first thing I want to say, thank you so much, Ro.
Thank you
for sharing. You have quite the testimony, and I know a bit more about your testimony than maybe those who are watching. And I just want to applaud you for opening up your mouth and sharing and refusing to be silent.
Yes. Thank you.
One thing I said to you beforehand, and I'm going to say to everyone who's watching, is this space is not a space where I pick and choose the testimonies that are going to share. The Lord placed the women in this space who need to be in this space.
Yes.
And I don't pick apart people's testimonies. My role is to give space for you to open up your mouth and refuse to be silent. It is not my place or anybody else's place to determine whether or not your way to get out was a good way or a bad way or the best way or the wrong way. What I can say is that today I am grateful for your life, that you're not the pretty, beautiful young woman laying in the coffin.
Right.
Period.
Yes.
And I am honored that you saw fit to say yes, to come onto this platform and to share your story, because the truth is there are more women like you who are in situations like you were in.
Yes.
Who don't know what to do. And there are many who found a way out exactly like you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're too ashamed to tell anybody that.
Yeah.
And so I believe that today you sharing has helped some people. I know that you have helped some people, and there will be people who will watch this, in months to come or years to come, your story will resonate with them. So I just want to say personally, thank you for sharing your story. We've been trying to connect for a minute, but let me tell you, God knows exactly what he's doing, because this is the testimony that needed to be shared in the Speak Up Sis space. And so I bless God for you. I bless God for your life,
Thank you
your
so
children,
much.
and your future.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
You are so welcome, sis. All right, everybody. Listen, y'all. Okay. Today, we're on day 10. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Right.
For the rest of the month. But if you have not been in this space every day at noon, you are missing out on a blessing. If you are a woman, please make sure you show up here at noon for the remainder of the month. We've got a different woman every single day who's opening up her mouth and sharing her story of refusing to be silenced. Please show up. If you know a woman that you know needs to open her mouth, share the space with her so she can see other everyday women who are making history by sharing their stories. So please make sure you show up and share. It doesn't cost you anything to share. All right, everybody. Again, thank you, Ro. I appreciate you. And I want to make sure that we thank Nappy Pat once again at Charisma Contour Body Spa, excuse me, for sponsoring today and 5 days of this beautiful experience. If you have a business and you would like to sponsor a day, then please send us an email at contact@speakupsis.com. .com. You all excuse me. I'm a bit choked up today. Contact@speakupsis.com, and we'll send you more information on sponsoring a day. And with that, everybody, I say thank you all.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. You're so welcome, beautiful. Take care.
You too. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me again.
You're welcome.